Hey guys, welcome to Wild Hair to Garage. Have you guys noticed that budget automotive YouTube isn't really budget anymore? I've seen a slew of these videos lately where they hype up something as budget. You know which ones I'm talking about. They come out and they say, we bought this car for $3,500 and we're going to make it a drift car, a drag car, an autocross car, whatever. But then they end up just blowing it with sponsored parts. And you know, they say, oh, well, it's budget because X, Y, Z. But then whenever they do the total at the end of the video, it comes out to being $38,000, $39,000, $40,000. Not anything anybody in this type of space can really afford. I mean, that's not attainable for the average person. So I'm aiming to fix that. The car I have behind me, I think you're really going to like. And the spirit of this whole video series is going to be a cheap car that we fix on a budget. No sponsored parts, no nothing. I don't have any of that stuff, so you don't have to worry about that from me. It's all going to be my money. We paid $2,000 for the car, and we're going to put $2,000 into it. So $4,000. I think that's a real decent budget for somebody trying to do something like this. And it's not going to it's not going to put you in debt. It's not going to put you in financial ruin. You're not going to be car poor, is what they call. So I think it'll be fun. So let me show you what I got. You are going to love this. Yep, so it's right here. This is my 1985 Camaro Z28. Now, your eyes may be deceiving you if you think it looks good, but you might not have very good eyes. You might want to get that checked. Anywho, it is the 305 TPI 210 horsepower V8. There's a 4-speed automatic transmission, the 700 R4. And yeah, this is my car. I just bought it for $2,000. And we're going to put another $2,000 into it to see if we can make it a really nice, cruiser on a budget. So far, the engine, it runs fine. This car has been sitting since 2006, so keep that in mind. We're probably going to run into a lot of things related to that down the road. Anyway, as of now, it does have a new fuel tank with a new fuel pump and new injectors. I didn't do any of that, but it does have that, and that's the kind of the position this car is in right now. It does run, it does drive. The tires are old enough to have a bachelor's degree, so we may want to get those rectified at some point in time. Otherwise, like I said, the motor feels healthy. It's kind of sludgy. The transmission shifts. So that's kind of all you can ask for in this price bracket nowadays. Anyway, it is a T-top car, which I'm super hyped about because I've never had a T-top car. So it should be pretty dope. Anyway, like I said, we're going to just go through this very slow, one step at a time through these videos. I'm going to try to do my best to make it step by step for you guys. So if you are following along, not necessarily with this car, but most of the old 80s Chevys are the same, and GM, Oldsmobile, all that stuff. So maybe you can gather some stuff from this video, if not just some inspiration to show that it can be done on a budget, and you can have a car that is pretty dang cool at the end of it, and you don't have to have a bunch of sponsored money or parts. You can just save up for a little while, get yourself $4,000, and do what I'm doing. So anyway, like I said, this car is going to be a challenge. It is pretty dang rough. The cosmetics, as you can tell, are pretty bad. We got that motor under the hood. What we're probably going to do is oil change, filter. I mean, it's a 305. It should run forever anyway, so I think it's pretty well set. We're just going to, oil change, filter. That's it for that. Like I said, the motor and transmission on this car is actually pretty nice. One thing that's going to need immediate attention is, like I said, the tires. The brake master cylinder is leaking, so we're going to have to put a new master on it. And then we also are going to have to completely rebuild the steering because there is miles, legitimate miles of play. You're sitting there, you're going straight, and then if there's I-65 and I-24 coming up, your car is going to decide where it's going to go. It's that bad. So anyway, we're going to take care of that. We're going to rebuild the front steering. And then there's also some clunking that we're going to have to take care of. That's all down the road. I'm going to try to do it, like I said, by step-by-step best I can. And I'm hoping you guys can follow along too. And you can also have a pretty cool car at the end of it. As far as the interior, it is complete, but it is a mess. We are going to have to go through and deep clean this thing front to back. As you can probably see, this dash is in a state of disrepair. It is pretty awful. And I do think another fun thing about this challenge is going to be that I'm going to try a lot of these weird Amazon products that I've never seen before and have kind of just come about these past couple years. As far as now, you can get glue-on dash pads for these. I have no idea how they work. We're going to try it, and then hopefully you guys will be able to tell if you want to spend your money on it or not, if it's crap, if it's cool. Yeah, we're going to do that here. And then we'll probably end up resealing this windshield on a budget. I don't know the T-tops leak yet. We're going to have to figure that out next time it rains, I guess. But all in all, I'm just going to go through the car and show you. There's no real major rust, thankfully, because I despise dealing with rust. And, you know, we have some surface stuff here and there, and then, you know, some Bondo work and stuff we're going to have to do. And like I said, let's don't go into this expecting this to be a perfect car. This is going to be a great 15 foot in the parking lot. Oh, wow, look, a Camaro. You know, it's going to be a good driver's car. It's not a car that we're going to be afraid to take out and do stuff with and, you know, have some fun. So if you're not super familiar with what a T-top is, it is basically just a piece of glass on either side that is attached to your roof with a locking mechanism. There is a lever in here you push away from you, and the whole roof of the car effectively just slides away. Now, this that I'm holding is basically just a big piece of glass, okay? It does have this latch mechanism on it, but these are mainly just glass, and they're very fragile, and it really does kind of mess with the rigidity of the vehicle. So that is something you have to watch out for on these, is chassis flex and all that, especially if you do get a T-top car and you're trying to race it or anything. But we're just using it as a cruiser, so I'm not too concerned with it. But the main thing is to just be very gentle with these all the time, anytime you're taking them off or putting them on. They pretty much just sit there, and then there's a lever, and it will only slide in when it's in its grooves, and then that's that. These are prone to leaking, obviously. It's just a piece of flat glass with some flat rubber on a flat roof. Water sits, accumulates, you know how it goes. Don't have to explain that to you. But anyway, like I said, this is a T-top car, so if you wanted to know what that means or you weren't familiar. So anyway, now we're going to move on to the trunk, and we're going to check that out. Fun fact about these and most other GMs of the era is these license plates have a little latch up top that fold down, and there's a little spring in there that always gets very noisy. Then you have your two keys, your ignition key, and then in my case, these aftermarket door keys. And this is where your key for the hatch is. Now, on other cars like my Caprice and my Cutlass, the actual gas tank fill port is back here. So on this car, it's not. It's on the left-hand side. But just if you were curious why they did this, I really don't know. It makes getting gas pretty easy because you can go to either side. But otherwise, I really don't know why you would put flappy license plates. Anyway. So key in, turn. This just lifts up. We do have new shocks for this, so at some point we're going to have to take care of those. They kind of hold, but as you'll see, I'm pretty wary to let it hold on its own because I'll just show you right now. So very much the same story with the T-tops. This panel is basically unobtainium. As far as if you break it, you're not getting somebody to build you another one. You're just going to have to pull it off of another car if you can find it. And that is because this is basically just glass. I mean, this whole back panel, you can see that curvature there. Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare to try to find another one. So anyway, long story short, we're going to replace these hoods or trunk struts. No biggie there. And yeah, just do a bunch of cleaning because this thing is nasty. As you can see in here, more years of just accumulated gross. These, beneath all of the mold and whatever that is the original GM, if you could believe it, GM T-top bags. So basically the T-tops, when you would take them off, you would slide them in here. There's a little divider, and you would put one in one, and then that would be how you would carry around your T-tops without them getting damaged. Now you're thinking, well, obviously the glass isn't round, so how do you put it in there without it, just flopping everywhere? So that's what these little straps are for, actually. One side stays hooked up there. These other sides go right here into this very rusty hanger, and then that would kind of suspend the whole thing midair and keep them all nice and level. So that's pretty much it, honestly. We're going to have to do a whole lot of tweaking and stuff on the suspension and getting it to where we want to be. And like I said, we're not going to do a driving portion of this video yet, just because these tires are old enough to have children of their own. So we have new tires, and I think I have a very fun video for the tires that are coming. So we can kind of explore that together and go through it together and all that fun stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to introduce you to the car and the next project series. I'm very concerned that that's just going to psh. So anyway, this is kind of where we're at. This is our new budget-oriented everyman, and that brings me to the name of this vehicle, or the name of this project rather. This is going to be Project Everyman. So the reason why I call it that is because, like I said, all of these big names, they have all these great cars, and I've talked to people firsthand that say, yeah, it works for them because they can afford to drop, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 into a fuel system because they're not actually paying for it. It's sponsored, Let me see. I hope. No, I got the keys. So anyway, basically, that's all I wanted to say is that this is going to be a car. There's going to be no sponsored parts or anything. This is just my car, and we're going to work on it, step by step. We're going to go through it together. It's going to be completely just budget, getting stuff from Rock Auto, eBay, Amazon, trying to get it to where it's drivable condition and to be able to be enjoyed. But obviously, we don't have a lot of money to spend, so we're going to try to keep it the whole thing under $2,000. We paid $2,000 for the car. Now we're going to pay $2,000 to fix it up, and that's going to include, everything: suspension, tires, brakes, blah blah blah. Anything we do to it's going to be under that $2,000 mark. We're going to see if we can hit it. I don't know. You'll have to go along for the ride with me, and I'm going to try my best to just use basic hand tools. I don't really have too much more than that, so it'll definitely be an experience, and I hope that you guys can learn something and maybe follow along with a project car of your own. And just to see that this stuff is possible, that you don't have to have a ton of money to have a pretty cool car. Now, I know you're looking at this thing and you're like, oh my gosh, it is just wrecked. It is destroyed. And I'll let you guys kind of fact check me in the comments about, did I get a good deal? Did I not get a good deal? It's whatever. It's, water under the bridge. I'm cool with it. I'm happy with it so far. It's definitely going to take some work, but I do think that on the other side, it's going to come out and be a pretty cool car. So anyway, that's pretty much it for me, guys. Just wanted to show you around it. Yeah, all in all, I'm pretty pleased. We just got to go through it, like I said, step by step. And first thing we're going to tackle is probably tires, just because this thing, like I said, these tires are old enough to have children of their own. So whenever you go, 5-10 miles an hour, the whole thing it's pretty ridiculous. So we're going to have to change those, and then we're probably going to start work on the steering because it's just, it's pretty rough. Otherwise, I did do a check on the ball joints, and if you don't know how to do that, there's plenty of videos. You basically just jack it up the car off the ground one side at a time, and then push, top and bottom of the tire. And that's how you check those. This side's a little more worn in than that side, but nothing too crazy. Probably doesn't help me rolling it around on these absolute garbage tires. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you the car and where we're at with it, and what we're going to try to tackle step by step. And then I'm going to go through so you guys can see all the stuff I've done to it and how I'm doing it and how I'm doing it cheap and what I'm ordering and this, that, something else. So anyway, like I said, we're going to do tires next, and then probably cleaning because this thing is just nasty. I need to figure out if I can pull that headliner down and just have metal up there, because it would not bother me one bit because I can't stand that nasty headliner. Otherwise though, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Just wanted to kind of introduce you guys to the car and what you're going to see coming at me, or what you're going to see coming from me video wise in the near future. Like I said, it's just going to require a lot of cleaning and a lot of grunt work, but very little rust on the car, which I'm super happy with. Like I said, we do have some surface stuff down here, and then the battery tray under the hood has some holes, and unfortunately the beautiful louvered vents are gone, so we're going to have to get us some more of those eventually. And this will probably consist of a bunch of junkyard runs too. So if you're into that kind of content, definitely look out for it, because we're going to have to find some of these parts somewhere, and we don't have a lot of money to spend, so it only really gives us a couple options. So anyway, that's where we're at. And yeah, check back next time to see how these tires go. And like I said, I have a pretty special video planned, so hopefully it'll be enjoyable. Alright guys, till the next one, I'll catch you later.